Hi everybody, TJ Mack Vintage Cards and Nostalgia here. And in today's video, I'm going to show off some of my newer pickups and how they fit within my collecting goals. Now back in January, I did a video setting my 2023 collecting goals. And in today's video, I thought it would be fun to see how I'm doing through the first quarter of the year. Now I'm not going to go through all my goals in this video. I put a link to the original video in my description if you want to go back and watch it. Though my 2023 goals video had some specific cards and sets I'm targeting, I don't approach my goals in that fashion. To me, goals are like a compass. I set them to establish a direction I want my collection to go in, rather than a specific destination. While there may be some specific cards I'm targeting, I'm not necessarily in a hurry to acquire them if I find other cards that fit within the overall focus of my collection. For example, one of my 2023 goals is to acquire 12 Diamond Stars cards. This goal, it may or may not happen this year. While I intend to complete the set, I haven't been in the mood to really buy any lately. I've been more focused on other pursuits. Now, the one thing that holds true is that I'm always about acquiring cards that fit towards how I want my collection to look. It's been that philosophy that's really allowed me to enjoy the hobby. Now, one of my 2023 goals is to get a 55 Bowman Mickey Mantle. While that may still happen, my broader focus has been adding more 55 Bowman cards to my collection. Now, going into 2023, I had the Hank Aaron, the Al Kaline, and the George Kell. But since the beginning of this year, I added the Whitey Ford and Early Win. And now I've added this beautiful Bob Feller. I've been wanting to add this card for a while. I just love the look of it. While I haven't studied every card in this set, the background on the Feller doesn't appear to be one that is common. I've seen it on a few cards, but it's not a common one. When you look closely, you can see what appears to be Shibe Park, which is where I believe most, if not all, the photos in the set were taken, but it's darkened. Now, for those of us who grew up with the console TV, it reminds me of the reflection you would see when you turn the TV off. It had that kind of grayish color screen. And the darkened background in this image really allows Bob Feller to stand out. Here you have Feller in the sunset of his career. Rumor had it that manager Lopez wanted to release him in the spring of 1994 due to the significant drop in velocity on his fastball. He was overruled by general manager Hank Greenberg. On this card, you have Feller smiling while showing off his four-seam fastball grip. It was this grip that gave him the nickname the Heater from Van Meter and turned him into a legend. Another goal I have for 2023 is adding some vintage hockey cards to my collection. Here you have 3 new additions in Harry Hull, George Armstrong, and Stan Mikita. The 1959 Topps Harry Hull card is just a beautiful card. Hull was the Norris Trophy winner as the best defenseman in 1967. He famously said that he was glad he won when he did, as he acknowledged that Bobby Orr, who finished second to him that year, would own the trophy for years to come. Well, Hull's prediction was right, as Orr won the next 8 Norris trophies. Love this card with the red and white background, which almost looks three-dimensional when you see it in person. And then next to him, you have the 1962 Parkhurst card of Hall of Famer George Armstrong. He played for 21 seasons. He won 4 Stanley Cups as the Maple Leafs captain. Now, he was a tremendously popular player with both his team and his fans, and Leafs owner Conn Smythe called him the greatest captain in team history. Now, the 62 Parkhurst set had 3 different designs within the same set, and this design shows a large black puck behind Armstrong, who is wearing the rich blue Maple Leaf sweater. The card is encased in white, giving it a striking appearance. And the last card here is the 72 O-Pee-Chee Stan Mikita. Now, I'm a big fan of this set and have been adding the O-Pee-Chee cards of players where the image is different than the tops. Now, here's the tops card from the same year that you can compare to the O-Pee-Chee version. Now, you notice Makita's wearing a helmet on the O-Pee-Chee card. He was one of the earliest players to wear a helmet due to an errant shot taking off part of his ear in 1967. He got hit by a puck. Just love these vintage hockey cards. They display great, and hockey has such a rich history. Another focus is adding more art cards to my collection. Now, these three examples demonstrate what I love about colors. All three of these players are Hall of Famers from their respective sports. You have Pete Pihos, who was an outstanding receiver with the Eagles in the late 40s to the mid-50s. The six-time first-team All-Pro, led the NFL in receptions 3 years in a row from 1953 to 1955. He retired after the 55 season and caught 11 passes in his final game. Now, I love the pose, the green uniform, and the blue sky in the background. Then you have Red Sox second baseman Bobby Doerr, who was a 9-time All-Star. He was known for his down-to-earth demeanor, and Ted Williams called Doerr the silent captain of the Red Sox. Here is his 1949 Bowman with a vibrant red background with touches of red on the black and white image of Doerr. And the third card is Bert Olmsted. And I've talked a little bit about him before, but he was one of the most physical players of his era. And Dirty Birdie, as he was known, was not a great skater, but made up for it with his body checking and his uncanny ability to win battles for the puck in the corners. Now, I'm a big fan of the 1959 Parker set, and this is just a marvelous example with the blue and yellow colors being brought out by the white background. Now, the last three cards I'm going to show today really showcase what I love about collecting. I love to build themes, and that's what makes my collection my collection. It's how I envision cards fitting together or make eye-catching and interesting displays. Here you have three of the great running backs of the 1950s. Yes, these cards have beautiful colors, but what makes them stand out is that they do a great job depicting motion. On the Paul Tank Younger, you have a photo that captures the speed and force that Tank runs with. This is his 1956 Topps card. Notice how the picture is centered towards the left, which makes him look like he's going to run right off the card. And then next to him is the 1958 Rick Caceres. He's another outstanding back of his time. This is one of the earliest football cards that shows a multiplayer action shot. You can see the shoulder and part of the helmet of another Bears player. Here you get a feel for the power of Caceres, who was a former amateur boxer, and Mike Ditka called him one of the tough guys of the game. It looks like he's going to give his opponent a stiff arm. You also see the single bar face mask there, which I just love. You don't see it a lot on cards back then with face masks from this era, as they used to remove them before taking the photograph so you could see the player's face. And then finally you have John David Crow on his 1959 Topps card. This is his rookie. This is a card I added to my collection last year, and what I love about this card is how Crow looks like he's about to run away. Like the Younger, I think the photographer did a brilliant job depicting speed by showing Crow looking like he's going to run off the card. The off-center photo was a brilliant touch and really draws the viewer in. Crow was a complete running back who could also catch and block. It was rumored that Brown's head coach, Paul Brown, tried to trade the legendary Jim Brown for him, but the Cardinals turned him down. So there you have it. I feel I'm off to a great start with my 2023 collecting goals. I hope you enjoyed these examples of cards that make my collection my collection. And may everyone have a blessed Easter and a wonderful weekend.